Hello everyone, this is Yuti Doshi from One Mantra Mental Health. Today we have with us Nupur Kaul. She's a sports psychologist and she has she's also an athlete, and I would just like to tell you more about her. Nupur is a national skater and an international tennis player. She has studied bachelor's in psychology and a double master's. She has completed her master's in industrial psychology and also in sport and exercise psychology. So, Nupur, you have learned something really interesting, and I really want to know more about you because Nupur is also the founder of the Mind Studio, and I want to know more about how you came up with the page and what is your motivation behind it.
First of all, hi Yuti. Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction. It's great to be with you and Man Mantra. So, sports psychology is something very close to my heart. I have always been in sports. Like you said, I have been a national skater and international level lawn tennis player. So, I've been in sports since the age of 4. And when I was playing tennis, sometimes I felt that, probably even though I had a better game than my opponent, I still couldn't manage to win. Later on, there was a realization that it's not always something to do with your physical abilities or how good your game is. It's also a lot to do with your mental abilities and how you can overcome certain obstacles or certain hurdles. So, due to certain injuries and other reasons, I had to quit tennis. But after playing for 14 years, I realized that I needed a career in sports. It's what I'm passionate about. And so, if not on court, then definitely off court. And that's when I decided that let's become a sports psychologist. It's something that I felt there was a need for. And I'm sure there are other people also who probably would need the assistance of a sports psychologist. So that's how the Mind Studio came to be. And I'm just trying to promote and, make everyone aware that there is an importance of sports psychology in today's sports. Um, and that's how we are trying to take it forward.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Nupur. I feel that uh, when it comes to mental health, of course, it is already a taboo, but when we talk about sports psychology, not many people know of it. Like,
Yeah,
sports psychology क्या है भाई? क्या जरूरत क्यों है psychologist की? That is what the question comes always. So I'm glad
yeah,
that you have taken up this career, and I feel that we as psychologists choosing to be a psychologist in this era is a very brave thing to do in a space where people are not even aware of what actually mental health is. And I think
right.
you are doing a great job, especially for all the sports people. They are always considered to be physically tough, and they are very strong and they are very, very brave. But that's not always the case, and they might also need someone to talk to. So, yes.
Right.
So, you said about why you chose sports psychology, but what exactly sports psychology is, if we have to explain to people who are viewing our video, what exactly it is.
So basically, sports psychology or what a sports psychologist does is provide an athlete with certain skills, certain techniques, so that they can, one, overcome their mental obstacles or mental hurdles that they are facing, and second is to enhance their athletic game. Now, when you go on court or when you go for a match or a tournament, you don't go empty minded. You think, you think and play, or you think and perform. So, we need to include these mental training skills into your daily performance as well, into your daily practice. You can't just practice your physical abilities and then expect a good performance. So in sports, we generally say that any sport has four components. The mental component, that is the mind, the physical component, which involves things like endurance, your agility, your stamina. Then there's a technical component, how well you probably play a particular stroke or how good is your running action. And the fourth part is the tactical component. Can you strategize certain tactics in order to beat your opponent? Can you kind of figure out their strengths or weaknesses? So it's important you give all these four areas or components the attention it requires. You
Right.
can't forget one area and then still, expect to perform to the best of your ability, because then it's not going to happen. So I think it's high time even the mental component gets its attention that it deserves. We can't let it go anymore. And that's where a sports psychologist comes into play. We focus solely on the mental component.
That's amazing. This is something so new. Even I had not heard about all the different four components. And of course, now when you have told me, I feel if I was a sportsman and if I had to think of all the four components, I wouldn't be uh, great in all four areas, and I would definitely need help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So it's like we, as a coach, they focus on probably the tactics or the technical components, but somewhere a sports psychologist needs to come in and focus on the mental components. Like we are you can say the expert of the mind. So a coach can't handle everything for an athlete.
hmm.
Therefore, we come in for the mental component.
How do you help people? For example, if I come to you and you understand that, okay, my endurance is good, but mentally I'm not so well prepared, or maybe I have certain symptoms that indicate that I might not be happy or things like that. So how do you
Right.
assess them and how do you help
So we generally start off with taking a case history about the athlete. He or she would generally share if they have certain issues, or we also have a lot of on-court or on-field observations. Being a sports psychologist, we have varied timings. Sometimes we have to wake up at 5 a.m., get on court at 6 a.m. just to see the players play, how they perform when they are playing their matches or practicing. That gives us a lot of information about what's going on in their mind. So a lot of observation when they're on their field or on their court. And also we have our one-on-one sessions. So after we've made our initial assessment, we move on to certain areas or topics that we generally discuss. So it could be anything. It could be, enhancing their self-confidence or enhancing more intrinsic motivation, working on their belief that they can achieve certain things or certain goals, focusing on staying in the present moment, rather than thinking too much about the past or the future, because it's important to stay right here right now, focus on this one point that the player is going to play, rather than thinking too much about the past. Probably they've made a mistake,
them?
so they keep thinking mistake that they've made, so they don't have to do that. Or they think too much into the future, कि अभी मैं जीत रही हूँ, so let me just think too much ahead into the future. So we don't want either of those extremities. We want them to stay in the present moment. So there are certain areas that we work with athletes, and also obviously to kind of cope or deal with these areas, we give them certain skills or we use certain techniques. So very general techniques like goal setting. We move on from setting more process oriented goals rather than outcome oriented goals. Or we have a lot of relaxation techniques, a lot of breathing techniques that we engage in. We also do a lot of imagery or visualization. It's a huge aspect of sports psychology. If you see or imagine you can do a particular task, you'll be more able to physically do that task. So they're very interesting, very different techniques that we employ with athletes to kind of overcome the mental obstacles or just to enhance their overall athletic game.
So this sounds so good. I mean, to all the athletes out there or people who are into sports, you should definitely go and visit a sports psychologist if you face any issues in life. It's not that because you are a sports person and people see you as someone who is strong physically doesn't mean that you can't go and talk about your problems. Definitely. Also, one
Right,
question that arose in my mind was, Nupur, when someone is consulting with you, is
right.
it limited to only the court or on field thing, or they might also have some family problems or personal issues which might be hindering their game? So, you
Right.
resolve that as well?
Definitely, because as an athlete, they have so many different areas that they need to focus on, right? They have their own on court or on field performance, which is a major area for them, but they also have to deal with general life. So probably they've probably had a fight with their loved ones or their parents or their coaches, and now they need to go and play a match, or they need to perform really well in that match. So how do we block off these external thoughts in order for you to concentrate 100% on the match? Once the match is over, you can go back to those external thoughts and then deal with them appropriately. You can't let those external thoughts interfere with your on-court performance. So we have a lot of routines that we do. Every athlete has so many routines that they do in order to get into the right mindset before and during the match. So we have so many, like, we have night before the routines, night before the match routines. We have pre-performance routines. We have routines even after the match, so that the athlete can have their kind of own bubble in which they know exactly what to do. They mentally prepare for their matches, and then once the matches and everything is over, then they can go back to their general life and deal with the problems or issues that they are facing over there.
I mean, this is something, this is a new perspective of looking at an athlete, I think, and we all should be empathetic towards them, definitely.
Yeah,
Because what happens is when they perform good, we all appreciate. But if they
right.
lose, and we just want to, you must have also faced it at times, like,
Definitely. Yeah.
so we need to support them definitely. And when it comes to athletes, a lot of children are also into sports these days. And they get
Right.
into sports right from they are in school, like they play for at school level and national level and inter school, things like that. So how can children also benefit from
Right.
a sports psychologist?
I think when children who are playing any kind of sport, if they kind of, when they are young, they visit a sports psychologist, that's the best age to try and mold the child with right behaviors or right techniques, because they're the most moldable at that point of time. You can't say that, okay, once I become an elite athlete, then I will visit a sports psychologist, because the older you get, it becomes more difficult to change certain behaviors or change certain thought processes. It's not impossible, but it just takes a little longer time. So when children come to us, that's the best age when you can start visiting a sports psychologist. Also, the techniques that we use in sports psychology can be adapted to general life as well. So, for an example, like a simple technique like goal setting.
Hmm.
Even if you are a person who goes to school, or a adult who goes to office, you can use these simple techniques of goal setting even in your general life. So instead of more outcome oriented goals, saying that, for example, I want to score like very good marks in my exam, that's an outcome that you want to achieve. But we need to focus more on the path how you would achieve that goal, and start focusing more on the process. So probably, have a good timetable, get a good night's rest, various things you can do in order to try and achieve your final goal. So instead of focusing only on the final goal, focus on the path to trying to achieve that goal. So very simple techniques which we can also use in general life. Another one which comes to my mind, especially now, is kind of dealing with competition pressure.
Hmm.
So we've seen, like, the IPL is going on right now, and we've seen that, when the situations are tough, or when there are tough matches, especially during the end, there are sometimes very silly catches which are dropped, or very easy catches which are dropped, or the batsman gets out on a very easy ball which they generally wouldn't.
Hmm.
It's not like that batsman or that fielder doesn't know how to catch a ball or bat. It's just that the pressure or the anxiety has started kicking in, and therefore they need to calm down or relax in those situations. So the same thing even applies to general life. Like, if a student is going for an exam, they've studied really well, they've prepared really well, but when the exam starts, they might blank out. So it's not like they haven't done their share of homework before going for their exam. It's more about the anxiety or the stress kicking in. So if you can relax with the relaxation techniques that we teach, we're more able to stay in the present moment, concentrate on the task at hand, and be relaxed in order to write our exam very well. So the techniques can be used even in general life.
Right. So I think when it comes to children, if they learn
Yeah,
these techniques at an early age, it becomes so much easier for them to manage the
exactly.
sports career. So yes, thank you so much for that information. Nupur, one very important thing is, people don't actually know about sports psychology, as I mentioned earlier, and there are a lot of myths about sports
Right.
psychology. So, what are some myths, and would you please tell us about that?
The major myth that I keep facing, or the major question which I get asked very frequently, is that, is there something wrong with me if I have to visit a sports psychologist? Am I not doing something well? Or, what is wrong with me? So the answer is that there is nothing wrong with you if you visit a sports psychologist. I think sports psychology as a subject, as a topic, needs to be seen from a more preventive measure rather than curative measure only. So if you have certain issues, if you are probably not performing very well in your matches or in your tournaments, and you're probably facing certain issues, for example, of confidence or motivation, then you can visit a sports psychologist who will help you deal with those situations. But you can also visit a sports psychologist if everything is going well, if you're performing well. We'll help you take your strengths to super strengths. We'll help you with certain techniques and interventions so that your good athletic performance lasts longer. You don't want to have highs and then lows. You want to constantly try and be at the top of your performance. So we'll help you do that as well. So sports psychology needs to start being taken from a more wellness point of view also, rather than only an illness point of view. That something doesn't have to go wrong in order to visit a sports psychologist. Everything can be going right. Everything, your athletic performance may be really good, but visit a sports psychologist will make sure that that athletic performance keeps building higher and higher. Like, if you're performing well, you won't stop practicing, right? Your physical abilities, like you won't stop that. So why not even enhance your mental abilities in order to keep your athletic performance at the top? That's
See,
one major myth
yeah,
that I keep facing.
yes, because as you rightly said earlier, the four components where
Right.
if you keep focusing on your uh, endurance and physical abilities, what about I mean, you have to just go back and keep checking whether I am on
Mental.
the right page and why not.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Nupur, what is the difference between a sports psychologist and clinical psychologist?
I think they're different fields. We come from the same background of psychology, but then we kind of specialize into our own fields. As a sports psychologist, I'm more of an educator where I give an athlete certain techniques and skills to enhance their athletic performance. Whereas a clinical psychologist or a counseling psychologist, they are dealing more with life issues, and probably they do not have those skill levels to uh, enhance athletic performance. They deal more on basis of their life issues. And I don't deal with probably someone who has come from a general background. They won't generally come to me. They'll visit a clinical psychologist or a counseling psychologist. So I deal solely with athletes.
O- Okay. So, an athlete can visit both sports
Yes.
psychologist as well and a clinical psychologist as well if needed.
Uh, yeah, so there are certain times, because I'm not equipped with dealing with probably more what do you say,
Severe mental health
like the
issues.
stuff,
Yeah.
right, mental health issues. So if I feel that an athlete requires to see a clinical psychologist and seek their expertise, so I'll obviously guide them towards seeing a clinical psychologist later on.
Right. Okay. So, now that we know exactly what sports psychology is and why athletes or sports people can go to a sports psychologist and how
Yeah.
they can seek help. But in India, this scenario is quite different. Uh, could you please throw some light on it? Like, because you would know more about it, you have studied it, plus you have had clients, from. So how difficult
Yeah.
it is or how easy it is? Please tell me.
So I think it is a bit difficult, the path to just getting athletes and their parents and coaches aware about the importance of sports psychology. It is growing, but probably it's growing at a slower pace than other countries. But I'm still optimistic about it because with the influx of sports, with more people getting aware of the benefits of just playing sports and more people, aspiring to be elite athletes, there is going to be a boost for sports psychology as well. A lot of Indian national teams have started taking sports psychologists on board. Recently, last year, the Indian women's hockey team took a sports psychologist on tour with them for tournaments abroad. So that was a big boost for sports psychology as a whole. Even cricketers like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Mithali Raj, they've all started speaking about the importance of mental health and the importance of sports psychology. So when these people talk about the importance of sports psychology in today's sporting world, I think a lot of budding athletes also understand the awareness of it. If my idol is going to or visiting a sports psychologist, probably it's important also. So they obviously then start feeling the getting the importance of sports psychology.
So yes, things are changing for overall for mental health and especially for sports psychology. And I hope more and more people understand the importance and visit you and me in the future.
Definitely. I think visit us before it's too late.
Yes,
It's
sure.
never too late, but the minute you start getting or feeling the first symptoms of not feeling okay, you should start visiting any mental health specialist, because it's not okay. It's not okay to not feel okay.
Yes.
So you should visit a sports psychologist or any mental health specialist.
And now that we have come towards the end of our episode, one last question to you, Nupur. One small message that you would want to give our viewers.
Um, just spread the awareness and the knowledge of sports psychology as well as mental health as a whole, because we now understand that the mind controls everything. Your muscles or your body are just like rubber. Your mind is the muscle which controls all the body. So give the importance the mind it deserves. And if you're not okay, or if you just feel like talking, reach out to people, reach out to specialists, and it is going to get better sooner. So just spread the knowledge of sports psychology, spread the knowledge and awareness of mental health, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Nupur, for sharing your experience and your about your journey with us. One small thing for all of you, if you have any questions about sports psychology, please contact the Mind Studio. You can DM them, and I will definitely write down their handle in the caption. But if you have any queries, if you just want to have any information, not necessarily that you have to take a session or anything, you can leave your comments in the video, or you can definitely DM her. Her name is Nupur Kaul, and I will be tagging her. So thank you so much for watching this episode.
Thank you so much. You're doing such great work getting all mental health specialists from all different areas and having these conversations with us. So thank you so much. And I hope we can keep doing this and spreading the awareness of mental health and sports psychology.
Yes, actually, this year's theme is mental health for all, greater access, and I think that is keep like that keeps motivating me to keep inviting people, and I hope I can do it for as long as I can.
You're doing great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.